Hey everyone, it's Daniel here again with glass.com, and today we're going to be continuing our shower glass cleaning video series. Now, one of the things that we get asked about most often is hard water spots. And if you have hard water spots on your shower already, check out our other video about removing hard water spots from your shower. But if you're starting with a clean slate after you get all those hard water spots removed, then the next most important thing that you can do is preventative maintenance. And when I say preventative maintenance, it's probably the one thing that you don't want to do, which is to squeegee your shower after each use. So squeegeeing your shower glass is one of the most important things that you can do, not only because it removes the water so that the water doesn't dry on the glass and create hard water stains, but it also will remove soap scum. So as you're showering, you're lathering shampoo, you're lathering soap, and some of that splashes around and inevitably lands on the glass. So altogether, between those two, that leads to cleaning your shower glass less, which is the ultimate goal. So we actually have a selection of 3 different squeegees here. We're going to talk about each, the pros and cons with each brand that we're testing today, and then we're going to do some demonstrations on the glass of how to properly squeegee your shower to keep the hard water spots off the glass. Now, whichever squeegee you decide to go with, one thing you want to make sure of is that when you are squeegeeing your glass, that you have a clean blade. You don't want to have any contaminants on this blade, because as you're dragging it down the glass, let's say you have a little bit of dirt or a little bit of sand from the bottom of the shower on the blade, that contaminant is going to drag down the glass, get trapped between the blade and the glass, and it's going to leave scratches in the glass. So I would suggest just wiping or rinsing the blade before each use to make sure you don't damage the glass. We're going to get some water on the glass, and we're going to test all 3 of these squeegees. The first squeegee we're going to be testing is by OXO. This is a pretty common brand. I believe you can find it at Walmart, so it's relatively easy to just pick up when you're out shopping, and it's relatively inexpensive too. If you take a look at the construction, we have a rubberized handle, we have a plastic frame, and then a silicone blade. So if we're taking a closer look at this, one of the most important things to look for in a squeegee is a uniform blade. And you want to make sure that the surface is flat across, and that's what's going to be the contact on the glass. So if any part of that blade is not touching the glass, then it's not going to have uniform water removal as you're using it, and it will leave streaks in the glass. So this one, the edges are coming up just a little bit on either side. There's some waviness to the blade, so I don't really have high hopes for this one. So I'm just going to do a swath right here with a bit of pressure, not too much pressure, but you want to apply a bit so that you flex the blade. And just as I was suspecting, the blade makes great contact in the center, but it doesn't make hardly any contact at all on the outside edges. So about only 3/4 of this blade really made contact with the glass. And so for that reason, this would not be my first choice. However, if you don't have a squeegee at all and you're out at the store and you happen to see one, this would be a great place to start. Next up in the lineup is this stainless shower squeegee made by Highware. And the thing I like about this squeegee is that it has a nice look to it. You can get this squeegee in a number of finishes, and that way it can actually match the hardware of your shower. So if you have shower pulls or you have a frame shower, you can match this color to that hardware. So that'll give a nice, clean, sleek look. The one thing that I don't love about the metal construction though is that when you hit the glass, you know, that's metal against glass. So hopefully you won't ever come into a situation where, you know, this bumps into the glass, but it's not hard to do. I just did it on accident. That could scratch the glass. If you hit it hard enough, that could break the glass. But if we take a look at the silicone blade on this squeegee, it is pretty flat across the top. I do see one wave right here, a little ripple in the blade. I definitely enjoy the grip of this. It feels better in the hand. It has a little bit of weight to it, so it feels like a higher end squeegee compared to the OXO. So let's do a swath and see what happens. So this is definitely an upgrade from the OXO. It is actually grabbing the water all the way across, and I'm not seeing the little ripple that I noted in the blade. Again, this isn't my favorite just because of the metal construction, and I'm not sure how that would hold up over time. And also, you know, if you did bump the glass with it, it could damage the glass, but a great option. Next in the lineup is a Squeegee by Goot Work. So this Squeegee by Goot Work, it's actually fully silicone. It's one piece. It's not as high-end looking as the Highware Squeegee, but it has a really nice sleek look to it. And the thing that I appreciate about this Squeegee over the Highware Squeegee is that it is 100% silicone. If you end up accidentally hitting the glass with any other part of the Squeegee other than the blade, the chances of you damaging or scratching the glass are extremely low. And then also taking a look at the blade across the top, it's very uniform, it's very flat, and I don't see anything that would probably cause an issue. This does a really great job. It removed the water all the way across, very uniform. There were no water droplets left on the glass from where we took that swath. I think because of the all silicone construction, it does seem to drag on the glass a little bit more, whereas the Highware seemed to glide down the glass. It's not bad. It actually feels very solid, but it's just something to note. All right, so in conclusion, now that we've tested all three Squeegees, the OXO, it's okay, but it's really not making contact with the majority of the glass. So this is not the top choice. So that leaves us with the Highware Squeegee and the Goot Work Squeegee. And I really enjoy the silicone construction of the Goot Work Squeegee, whereas the Highware has the stainless construction that could scratch the glass. However, what I noted when using both Squeegees was that the Highware Squeegee glided down the glass much more easily than the Goot Work Squeegee. The Goot Work Squeegee felt like it was dragging down the glass, and at some points it was making some squeaking noises, where this had a much more smooth feel to it. So if you prefer the silicone Squeegee, go with the Goot Work. If you prefer the look of the stainless to match the hardware that exists within your shower already, go with the Highware. Either way, it's going to be a good choice. You can find links to all the products used in today's videos in the notes below, and check out our other videos for more tips on cleaning your bathroom.